starting at C. Just memorize the Chacon thing.
I don't think
It'll be fine. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. All right, so we're going to start at C and go to E. And the way I think of this part of the piece is that there are these sounds that kind of flow in and out of each other, and we want to try to play it that way, dynamically, expressively. You get what I mean? Kind of like I picture this in my head, just like waves. Kind of like that. So we can play the phrases like that and think about it. All right, so you're going to take the pickup to C. I'll give you guys a message.
You want to pick up?
Pickup, yes, please. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 1. Sorry, we're going to stop there right now. Saxophone? Some saxophones will come in. Okay, sorry, my fault. Everyone can make their entrances a little bit more pronounced just so, like, I can hear through that and I can fix what I'm doing wrong. You know? Let's start again from C. Great job with being expressive. You're on the right track with what I want to hear. Too bad if you could be a little bit more heavy with the sound when you come in with those quarter notes there. Maybe a little bit more decay on the notes, kind of like the string with song. Ready? Pick up C. I'll give you another measure again before you can. 1, 2, and 3, and 4.
We both have the same part, but, the concert C, mine is tied from beat 3 to beat 2, the measure before D, and hers is rearticulated. Which one would you like?
That's the oboe and the lobie side.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you both please tie that into the measure? Thank you. All right, I would like to actually, let's rehearse that real quick. We're going to do 6 before D, just the corner and oboe part. Mm-hmm. If you guys can kind of crescendo with that line. Thank you. All right, I'm going to start at D. Cornets, if you could be a little bit stronger. Tubas, you're on the right track. A little bit more articulated. I'm looking for a little bit more articulation there and a little bit more decay. I'm going to give you a measure again. 1 and 2 and 3 and. When you have the half note and the 2/4 in the oboe part, come down a little bit with those so we hear the other triplets in the other part. Okay, I'll give you a measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Pick up 2C, sorry. I'll give you a measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and.
about time. All right, it's good. So, Heather, how'd it go?
Okay. Not great, and I feel like that's my fault.
Well, what do you think was not great about it?
Well, entrances. I know, like, a lot of people were unsure about entrances, and I wasn't being clear on where the beat was for them to come in. I wasn't giving them a prep for it,
Okay.
and that's my fault.
Well, they have brains though, and they can think, and they can count. So that's not your fault. I mean, it's great to give cues, but they also need to count. So, I mean, I think getting your ensemble to rely solely on you for when to come in is dangerous.
Okay.
You don't want to do that, because what if something is going wrong over here and you're spending time trying to fix it and you miss a cue? So I would teach your ensemble to count for themselves, and they're lucky if they get a cue. That's how I like to train, especially high school kids. All right, so keep talking. What else?
Also, they were doing what I asked with the dynamics,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like they weren't getting as quiet as I wanted them to.
Did you ever tell them that?
No, I didn't, but I tried to make my beat pattern smaller, and I looked at them, no one was really looking at me, so I should
Okay.
have told them that.
Okay, I have a question. The tempo, was that the tempo you wanted?
No, it kept slowing down, and I kept trying to speed it up, and it just kept getting slower and slower.
Okay, the first time you ran through it, it got really slow really quickly, and because you were following them. And then they memorized that slow tempo. So once they memorize something, it's a lot harder to break them of that habit. So I think probably they weren't watching you because they didn't trust what you were doing with the tempo and that sort of thing. So I think they may have stopped watching you. I mean, not on purpose. It wasn't like a deliberate action, but I think they were just going, okay, I'm just going to look at my part and just kind of think about what I'm doing. That's my guess. I don't know. I'm not inside their subconscious mind, thankfully. So you have to make sure. Did you practice this with the metronome?
Yes.
Okay. You have to make sure you keep it moving along because you followed them, and it was just getting really, really, really slow. You'll see it the very first run through. Did you guys feel that ensemble? Yeah. So you have to lead further ahead. Also, you're still doing this.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to practice get out in front of your body, reach out more, wrap these fingers around. I'm wondering, why did you count for them?
I counted because I know before everybody talked about energy, and then I know that I had been slowing down and following them, so I thought maybe if I counted it off, like the tempo I wanted, that would stay that way,
Okay.
but it didn't work.
The counting thing works best. Well, the reason they would need to be counted off especially would be if it's a fast tempo, like, and you want to get the energy up that way. But at a slow tempo like that, even the first time you counted them off, the very first time. And I think if you just go and conduct ahead, they would have followed you.
Okay.
Especially if you didn't want to change the tempo much from what the first person of the day did. I mean, if it's the same, you don't need to worry about it. And when you counted, your energy didn't have a whole lot, or your voice didn't have a whole lot of energy in it, so it kind of didn't have the effect that you were hoping.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get some comments from the ensemble.
I thought you had ideas of what you wanted, and that was really great. I think like what's holding you back is like your conducting isn't quite there. And I think like the more that we went along, the more comfortable you got, and the more expressive your conducting got, and the better it got. So I think just try to like come in, feel that confidence and comfortableness at the beginning, and you'll be great.
Oh, I know that Dr. Neal kind of said it already, but you took fault for a lot of things that weren't really your fault, and I think especially with the we didn't know where we were, we didn't know where you were, you didn't do anything that prohibited them to not know where you were. So I think you take too much on yourself, and I think you did a better job than I think you did.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else? Aaron.
No, just bring more energy overall. I mean, that's hard for you to do more of a reserved person. So yeah, just trying to focus on bringing that energy.
And building off of that, I think that your rehearsal tempo, there was just a little bit of dead space today. So which I don't remember so much from the first time, but, so maybe just try and,
And one thing kind of along those lines, I looked up, and the first time you actually gave them some instruction about what to do differently than they were just playing was somewhere around 4.5 or 5 minutes in. So you want to be sure, I mean, do the run through, but then give them some things to fix right away so that they're engaged in the process. Otherwise, they're just kind of, they're like puppets on a string, and they're just like, okay, now what, run it again? Okay. So it just felt like it took a while to kind of get moving. So no, I want you to notice the first time you give them some constructive comments and check how long it took. And next time, try and be a little bit quicker with it, okay? Any other comments? Okay, great, thanks, Heather.